Welcome to the 4th edition of our Imagine series. This is Imagine Excellence, and I'm Susanna Morwood from our marketing team at Graham, and I'm joined today by Jean Mushet, who is Head of HR for Facilities Management, and Thomas Trainor, who is the Head of HR for Construction. Lovely to have you both.
Thank you.
So we're here today to talk about HR and the goals of HR in general at Graham. Would you be able to expand upon that, Jean?
Okay, so HR manage the human element in the company, ensuring that employees are engaged, they're supported and they're productive. So what we cover mainly is the recruitment, onboarding, the employee relations, compensation, benefits, performance management, and most importantly, the compliance and the employment laws. I think our goals, or the primary goal for us, is to ensure that we have the right people with the right skills in the right jobs.
Mm-hmm. So this ethos is across the business, regardless of FM or construction.
Yeah,
we're both working to the same goals, same aims.
Absolutely. It would be a group-wide approach in terms of what our ambitions are, objectives are. And it's really, I think in HR, it's about ensuring that our employees have a voice and taking our strategy and our focus is all around you say, we do. And that's how we like to approach things in terms of that whole engagement piece. So the day-to-day fundamentals, as Jean said, and then obviously looking to the future, how that evolves and what we do and what our strategy is going forward is very much in terms of that engagement piece.
And do you think the basis of everything really is that, like the fundamental culture in Graham, that Graham way, the history of the company, the fact it's still family owned, privately owned, does that have a big impact on your policies and also how people behave at Graham?
Absolutely. We just have to look at our values. We'll try and name them. Performance, innovation, collaboration, transparency and respect. They are in everything that we do, day to day, throughout everything that we do and we say and behave. So yeah, we live those values.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to that, I believe that because we are a family-run business at our core, I think those values are instilled in our employees. And what you find is if someone stays at Graham for 2 years, they'll probably stay for life. Just look at our long servers. And what that breeds loyalty. And there's a culture with that then that you've got a real focus on people being trained, people wanting to be developed, and what we call the Graham way. You hear the Graham way time and time again. What is the Graham way? Well, the Graham way is just come, do your best, and you will be looked after.
Yes. And that's a thread that's running through those long service awards videos at the minute.
Yes.
Where there's a lot of people saying, you're here for 15, 20, 25 years and you're well looked after.
Yeah.
And then you pass that on to your team members. And
whenever someone comes in new to the business, then there's that they're nurtured and developed, and that constantly evolves. But you've got that buy-in, if you like, which is unusual in today's environment. But I believe that family ethos is really important.
Big impact. Yeah.
I think people want to see people succeed as well, Susanna. I think that's really important, and they do support and help people on their journeys and their long careers. We see that a lot,
Yes.
People want to come, build their careers and stay with us, with the family, of Graham. That's definitely what we hear time and time again.
So if we get into the nitty gritty of it, right? So from day one, for example, the onboarding process that we put everybody through in Graham, that's been something that's been developed, obviously, with HR.
Totally.
At its heart. So how do you ensure that onboarding process, make sure that people are, engaged with Graham and want to excel? This whole, imagine excellence. How do you engineer that from the very beginning?
Well, we undertook an exercise in 2018, 2019, which was analysing what our new start experience was. If you look at our business in terms of the volume of new starts that we have on an annual basis, what is their experience? So with obviously that engagement, going out till the wider world in terms of what they were doing. What we wanted our new colleagues to experience was a best-in-class experience from the moment that they got their job offer till really they were passing their probation. So what does that look like? So it's about making sure that on day one everything's ready for them, that they've had the right training, that they've got the right equipment, that their manager has engaged with them, that there's a desk for them, and the simplest of things, but
that make difference.
Totally. There we've obviously got our buddy system where whenever a new colleague comes to the business, we partner them with someone who has a similar experience recently, and they can share their experiences and all of that sort of thing. Someone to encourage you, someone that you can go and ask questions to.
Just to echo what Thomas was saying about the buddies, the mentors that could be called in other parts of the business, they've been second to none. And we do get that feedback because we do have a survey that they have to fill in month 1, month 5, making sure that experience, is all the way through up to, as Thomas says, there's 6 months. So we've seen that feedback. We're looking at the scoring of their experience. It's on average 4.7 out of 5, and that's been consistent all the way through. And that's how we tap in and make sure that it's still working, or there's any suggestions that, we could improve, and if anyone hasn't had that experience, and we can go and do something about it in those early stages.
As an employee then, Graham, rewards and benefits, kind of important, aren't they? As part of your package.
That's definitely good for attraction.
Yes, exactly. But are those again honed and developed based on feedback and suggestions from employees? How do you get that kind of data in order to create these policies?
Well, I think it comes through all different sources. That could be through a one-to-one, it can come through in a survey, it can just be somebody suggesting, but we do go out to the market as well and make sure that we are leading in those benefits that we are offering our employees, obviously for the attraction piece as well.
Graham is somewhere where we are constantly trying to evolve. As Jean said, we go out to the market, we do that benchmarking exercise, and we did it a couple of years ago, and we updated things like our family friendly policy. We updated our holiday offering, all of that sort of thing, to make sure that we were really best in class. When we look at what other organisations are doing, I think we would be really proud of what we have achieved.
One of the big accolades, I suppose, from all the work that you do in HR is our IIP Platinum standard, which we've had for 3 years in a row.
Yeah. So we have successfully achieved reaccreditation at platinum level now for the 3rd time. I just wanted to point out that we were the first construction organisation to achieve platinum status, and it's a real external benchmark of everything that we do for our people. So we've no control over IIP as an organisation. They come in and do a complete independent assessment right across all of our areas in our business, and they make an assessment, and the ethos and the foundations of IIP are how are you developing your people, and we're held at platinum status. We also obviously hold IIP Wellbeing. We were the first organisation in the UK.
Platinum standard as well.
And we're really, really proud of that. And it's a collective right across the group in terms of what we're doing for our people from a wellbeing perspective. But yeah.
Do you feed into the leaders in diversity as well?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. So we all work together. We're all in the steering group. So
for health and wellbeing and fur and so on. So there's a real collaboration there amongst HR, L&D, fur, and health and wellbeing as well. So
Jean and I are it's not just terms and conditions, it's about much more.
You talked about earlier looking externally, looking at the market to make sure that we are best in class. Is there much collaboration that goes on with other contractors, other bodies external to Graham?
Yeah, we do partner and engage with other organisations, both locally and on a wider scale, and that is done A, via benchmarking, yes, but B, by working groups, steering groups, and being involved with those. Even if you look at internally to what we do for our employee networks and how popular that has been, that really shows that people want to come forward. So one of the things that we've just started looking at is our family friendly and your experience.
You're dealing with so many different people in the business. There's over 2,000 employees, all at various stages of life, as well as career. You know, so there's an awful lot to think about, I would imagine, in HR
Yes.
in terms of your policies and how you're supporting and looking after everyone in the business.
Absolutely.
Flexibility is going to look very different till someone new, someone young coming into the business, or what it would look like for someone at the end of their career versus, say, for example, new mothers. So everyone's journey is different, and it's about having flexibility of approach which can evolve with all of our employees. What is HR? HR is about looking at individualised approaches to people and looking at people and treating them as people. And I suppose people work for people, they don't work for companies. And I think that has really been down to our success. It's about having those values and not having a one-shoe-fits-all approach and having that flexibility of approach. It means that them evolving in terms of their career. It's about that flexible approach and working with people.
Yeah, our values, they underpin in everything that we do, you know, across the company and especially in HR.